Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. How are we doing out there in the internet world? Today it's me and kind of his first podcast debut.
Kinda. I mean, I was on another Slack podcast with me, you, Razzie, and our friend Melvin Ben.
Big old Melvin.
If you've not seen it, check it out. It'll be somewhere on channel. It's good.
All irrelevant now.
Absolutely.
But it was nice at the time. How are you doing, Jake? Welcome.
Honestly, shattered.
Yeah?
Still slept. But I've since been to work, and now I'm tired again.
Yeah. Tires you out, doesn't it? I've had
Yeah,
such a long week, man. Fuck me.
It's rock and roll, though, isn't it?
Well, that's what they keep saying. You know how I was complaining about when we were in London the other day before. I know it doesn't sound like me, but you know I was complaining about how like, I'm overheating. I feel warm. I think something's wrong with me. Like I have a drink and my cheeks have gone red like straight away.
To be fair, mate, your cheeks were red on the top.
Well, guess what?
Go on.
Yesterday, Chucky was around because we were doing some podcasts.
He's a good lad.
We had a really, really productive week with the podcast.
You're welcome.
And I bought us 4 San Miguel's.
Oh, the beer of the tour, eh?
It was. That's why I got them. I was like, oh, memories. And after one, my cheeks were red.
Interesting. So San Miguel, that's a Spanish.
Well,
beer,
I googled it, and apparently, like, if you drink a certain amount, in your life or in quick succession or whatever, your body stops producing this certain thing. I don't know what it is.
Shit.
It's not to worry about apparently, but it stops producing this thing.
Yeah.
And that thing is what stops your cheeks going red or something. And that's why like old men have red faces.
They look minging, don't they?
They do.
They're always like red, blotchy face. It's all like fat and it's like
long hair, big beard, nose piercing, spot on face.
Yeah, it'd be bad if you look like that, innit?
It sure would.
So what have you been up to, mate? Done anything interesting?
I've just been playing GTA. You can see it's on now in the background. I say I've been doing that.
GTA 3, cheats activated.
There's no cheats activated. I've failed this mission about 10 times.
I can see.
Where does it say that? You're fucking lying. Viewers and listeners is lying.
Well, they can't see, so they just have to take my word for it.
Well, who are they going to trust, you or me?
Would I lie?
That is true. Would Jake lie? So we've thought, we've had a bit of a hiatus on the content, and I know this is like the 3rd podcast we're putting out in this new series of The View from the Afternoon because we've got 2 already edited and good to go. So this will be the 3rd one, I'm sure.
It's like series 2, innit?
Yeah, I mean, and do you know what? The framing and shots of this is so much better.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean, you're just on the background with the waffle in the background. And it just looks better. We were desperate to try and like show off the view and stuff.
Yeah.
So much that I just
Speaking
forgot.
of which,
that,
I always thought this when I listened to the podcast. Obviously the podcast is called The View from the Afternoon.
Yeah.
But you never tell people what the view actually is for people that don't know. So what's the view from this afternoon, mate?
This afternoon, my view is just you sat opposite me.
Well, I'll tell you what, mate, that's a good view.
Drinking a ginger beer or a Coke. Oh, where'd the Sailor Jerry come from?
Well, mate, I've just been at work. Like,
I didn't know there was Sailor Jerry's going.
You never. I asked.
No, you've made it very clear that you just had a Coke and a. So I'm sat here drinking a water.
I mean, I've got the water too.
I'd have gone to the Co-op and got some beers.
Well, mate, I've got Sailor Jerry, so
But like, we're recording now, so we can't just get up and make a drink.
No, I mean,
I'd have a cup.
Do you want a little sip?
I want more than a little sip, mate.
Sip from a little witch's cup.
More than a little
well,
sip.
I'll tell you what. Drink from the bottle. I'll tell you what. So finish. Oh, there's an empty bottle, right?
Yeah.
So then
I don't want to drink in my own flat out of a fucking empty bottle.
Well.
Anyway, we'll cross this bridge in a sec when I want a drink.
That sounds like you problem.
It sure does. So anyway, yeah, this will be like episode 3 probably of series 2 if you want to do that. And if you want to call it that. So we thought it'd be good to to recap the Biffy Clyro tour that we've just been on. Mm-hmm. In retrospect, now the dust has settled, truly one of the best weeks of my entire life. I loved it. I loved every second of it. It's typical rose-tinted glasses memory because like you don't remember the tiredness, the hungoverness. Mm-hmm. You don't remember any of that. You just remember the great bits, and all of it pretty much was great.
Absolutely. No, I completely agree. It was... Because we said it before, like, we've done, like, tours before, specifically, like, 1975, but we've never done, like, a whole tour. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was only 6 dates. It's not like a massive like.
There's something about the completionism.
Yeah,
of it, though, isn't there?
absolutely.
Like I did more dates on the 75 tour.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
because it wasn't the whole tour,
It didn't.
and there were still bits that I missed out, we kind of didn't feel as.
Absolutely. I mean, and we also had like sprinkles in of Don Broco as well.
Yeah, man.
Just as little extras as well. You know, you'd take Don Broco as an extra, wouldn't you?
You would. It's interesting how Biffy really just framed them in a different light, because normally we'd be so buzzing for like Don Broco,
mean,
but because Biffy are our favourite band.
It was weird because, you know, going to a Broco gig, it usually involves going in, you know, coming out wet as fuck. Sweaty, that is, not like, please be wet as fuck.
Yeah. Very good.
But yeah, it was weird kind of seeing them in that different light as well, you know, because we stood at the back for
I'm going to get a cup. You keep talking.
Okay, because we stood at the back for like a couple of the gigs, and it was just weird seeing, like, it was nice because we were like seeing what other people would see us do. So it was really cool. You know, we've been fortunate to see Broco in. Cheers, man. We're fortunate to see Broco in you know, various different positions this year. Let's say. But,
Indeed.
it's been lovely because at the end of the day, the Broco dates for this was our days off basically. So we were just chilling.
Yeah, so we had this fingers crossed tour with Biffy Clyro booked for so long. It was booked for so long. So let's start at the very beginning. So Biffy Clyro announced they're doing Academy shows in April of 2021, I want to say. Yeah, it was meant to be in April. Thank you, Jake. Jake's just poured me a Sailor Jerry's spiced Captain Morgan's and Coke, is it?
I wish it was the old J, because that was kind of what I was drinking on tour, and that was lovely.
That is nice, that.
But we'll get onto that later on. That was a nice
Thank you.
statement,
Appreciate that, mate. So yeah, the tickets. Let's talk about the tickets.
Oh my God, we start from there. Oh, this. Do you know what? Yeah, absolutely. Let's start from there.
Well, I mean, it can be like a bit of our kind of back. People that do want to do this, they need to know all the intricacies, right? So
Absolutely,
let's
yeah.
start at the beginning.
Getting the tickets, fucking well hard. Jesus Christ, they must have been the hardest tickets we've ever tried to get, beside Glastonbury, I guess, because we never.
Yeah, we never got them.
But oh my, like, it was mental. Like, me and you were so like, yeah, easy, no problem. 6 dates, no problem.
Very rarely have an issue. I know a lot of people moan about Ticketmaster, and I just put it down to user error. I think half the time you're just not playing the game right.
Well, this is the thing, because there was some form of I feel like there was like 2 pre-sales or some bollocks like that. There was something where
Yeah, there was a album pre-order pre-sale and then a Team Biffy pre-sale. So it would have been Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday would have been general sale.
And then, if I'm right in thinking, we came away from that first pre-sale with no tickets.
We didn't get anything on the first pre-sale,
which was a bit.
And I pre-ordered the album.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd have pre-ordered the album anyway, but you know. And then when we got some on the Team Biffy, but we were I think we were on the phone. We were either on the phone or we were
Communicating.
Yeah, we were definitely communicating during, but somehow our communication fell down because the idea was like, okay, I'll get 2 for London, so me and Jacob got 1 each. Jake get 2 for Bristol, whatever. Somehow we both ended up getting 2 for Sheffield, so we ended up with 4 for Sheffield.
I mean, it works out in our favour because, to be fair, like,
yeah, of course it did.
Sheffield's with all the boys, so we
it did work. It did work out, but God, it was hard getting them. And I think I think we got maybe. I got like Sheffield and somewhere else for us both, and I think you got Sheffield and somewhere else for us both.
Yeah, I think I got Sheffield and Southampton. I think that sounds about right. Yeah, it was just so annoying. And then it was a case of like, I managed to bag 1 single Bristol ticket.
Yeah.
You obviously didn't then have one.
Yeah.
We both were kind of like, originally, we were both under the impression of like, are we really asked about Cambridge?
Yeah,
like,
do we
Cambridge is quite
do we
far
care?
away.
Do we
like,
care?
nah, do you know what? We'll leave Cambridge out. So we got rid of that one. And then it was just what other day in between?
Liverpool, maybe?
Liverpool. Yeah, it was Liverpool. Cause
yeah, it was. It was.
We managed to get that because Razzie was coming to Liverpool, even though, spoiler alert, we never saw him.
No, we certainly didn't. But yeah, so then like it was the month-long struggle, and it obviously wasn't such a struggle that we were constantly thinking about it, but
No, absolutely.
it was hard for these tickets. These tickets were in very short supply. They're pretty expensive. Our mate Joe got me one, which was very kind of her, and then Ticketmaster cancelled it because it was her third one that she'd bought, and it was like limited 2 per customer. So the odds were stacked against us, but we chipped away slowly but surely, and then we eventually had almost a full set between us.
We did.
I think the last one that we got, was it your Cambridge one?
It was my Cambridge one, yeah.
So the Biffy Clyro appreciation page on Facebook was great because they had the admin of that, Christine.
Good luck.
If she's listening to this, very unlikely, but you're doing a great job.
Absolutely.
And she made like a thread for like Cambridge, Liverpool, London, Sheffield. Yeah. And she would just, anytime someone posted in the group saying, I'm selling a Liverpool ticket, she'd like tag everyone that was on a list of, and anyway, it worked really well. I got a Cambridge ticket that way. Mm-hmm. How did you get a Cambridge ticket, Jake? There's an interesting story here.
So I got my Cambridge ticket, I think I put a tweet out or something like that, and a good viewer of the channel, Dan,
Big up, Dan.
He messaged me saying, yo, Jake, I've got a spare Cambridge ticket. I was like, legend.
Yeah, it's hammered.
I will take that off your hands, my friend. So in conversation, yeah, cool. How much you want for it? 47, no problem, mate. PayPal, all right? PayPal's not a problem, buddy.
Why would that be a problem, mate?
Of course.
Escrow service, trustworthy.
Absolutely. So I was like, do you know what, mate? Send me your email address and it'll come to you right now. Sent me email address. I won't say what it is, but it's a Hotmail account. Sent me it. I was like, perfect. It's sent. It's gone through. Sent him a screenshot saying, here you go, mate. You should have received it right now. So no problem, surely.
Well, why would there be a problem? You've used PayPal. You've used it. You can't go
given,
far wrong. You've typed in the email address,
he
Jake.
gave me.
You can't get it very wrong, can you?
He replied saying, "Oh fuck."
Oh, why did you say "oh fuck"? Why did you say "oh fuck," Dan?
He sent me the wrong email address, didn't he? He sent me.
So he sent you his other email address by mistake.
No, just a random email address. Well, I say random.
It
was a .com, not a .co.uk.
So an email address that didn't exist. That's where you sent your money to.
Sent 50 quid to a random person.
Interesting.
So,
now, we met Dan on the tour, I think.
We did, yeah.
And we had a good laugh about this, which is why we can kind of talk about it in jest, because he's in on the joke.
Of course. I am still waiting for that 50 quid, though, which is annoying. But I will say, like, hopefully in 10 days' time, or whenever this goes out, short amount of time, I'll have a nice 50 quid in my bank account. So I look forward to that. Otherwise, I'm going to be very upset.
I'd be very upset as well.
Well, you win some, you lose some, eh?
You sure do, mate. And that was the least of our expenses on this trip.
We spent a lot on this trip, so 50 quid, nothing, mate.
Let me tell you an interesting story that you don't know real quick. It's not really much of a story. So I put a tweet out about like saying, are people interested in like how much it costs to do this kind of tour? And it got like a load of likes for me anyway, like a good few hundred. And a guy called Reese, who I think we met on the tour, but I can't remember really speaking to him. Mm-hmm. I think maybe I missed the opportunity, but anyway, he was like, can I write? Like he writes for like a student, like a really big student publication, like the biggest. Yeah. And anyway, so he's gonna. I don't know whether he's put that out already, whether he's gonna shelve it. Maybe it's probably not that interesting, but I sent him the numbers and he asked me a few questions, so they might run that and it might be quite interesting.
That would be cool, yeah, absolutely.
And that's also incorporated into the video. Like people have seen it now, but did a breakdown day by day, and I was unsure whether to do that because when you're spending money and a lot of money, I'm always conscious like talking about money because you can come across as like,
absolutely.
You know, I meet people who the first thing they tell me is how much their jacket cost, and it's like, absolutely. Well, who are you trying? And I didn't want to come across in that same way, but I think we.
Well, it's a good job you wore the same jacket all tour.
Do you know what, mate? I'm gonna wear it tonight as well. Yeah.
Wait, where are you going tonight?
You tell me where we're going tonight. Why else are we drinking Sailor Jerry's?
Next question, please.
Okay, I plead the fifth. Do you know what, mate? You're great.
Cheers, man. Thank you.
I honestly don't know what I'd do without you. I mean that sincerely.
Thank you. Well, you probably wouldn't have gone to after, at least the Southampton and the.
Oh, Southampton was great. Anyway, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. So bought the tickets. We spent a lot of money. Mm-hmm. Should we run through that now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or should we run through the stories? Or should we run through... Maybe at the end do the money,
yeah? Of course. Let's do the money at the end. Because that's the big reveal. People want to know how much, even though they've watched the video. But if you haven't watched the video...
Yeah, I guess we can add a bit more context to it. So, at the very start of that week, me and Jake were hanging out for some reason. I can't remember why. Yeah, there must have been no reason, because Jake lives about 50 miles away.
I don't. He's lying.
Is it not 50?
Oh wait, yeah, it is. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
I wasn't a diss. It was just the truth.
Yeah,
so
I
for
do.
Jake to come here,
Annoyingly.
generally we
Remember
we
when
have
we
a
used to live
plan.
together? That was good.
I know I didn't. I wish we'd have taken more advantage of
Yeah,
that, to be
absolutely.
honest.
It's
But I
annoying,
appreciate
though.
the timing wasn't right. We could have done that a lot better.
Mm.
But you know, maybe we'll have a chance in future. Perhaps. Never say never.
I hope so.
But anyway, the point is for you to travel. Generally, we've got a plan.
Of course.
So I can't remember why you were here.
I can't.
Maybe we were just chilling.
It was to book all the stuff that
Yes,
we had to do.
it was to book all the travel and
Yeah.
hotels for the Biffy tour because we didn't have any of it
We've been
booked.
talking about doing that for ages. Obviously, you went on a holiday and we're like, right, when you get back, we need to book everything because
It's just going to get more expensive.
absolutely.
So Jake comes round. I think we're going through town, aren't we? Because we're looking for like some Halloween fancy dress costume.
Yeah, yeah.
And guess what? It just so happens to be first night of the Don Broco tour in Newcastle.
Bloody hell.
And we're like, God, I can't believe Broco's playing and we're not going.
It was weird.
And then we're like,
It was the look.
it was that
It,
look.
it was
that
the look
that you,
we were both walking and we both just kind of like turned our head to each other, gave each other the eye, and it was from that moment.
Yeah,
I was being quite reserved. I was like, no, mate, no, we're not doing it. But in my head, I was like, I know that in a few hours.
The look, once the look
Newcastle.
happens, it's happened. And then it's like weighing up, okay, why are we not going to that Don Broco
Absolutely.
Because it's all the way in Newcastle. Well, good news, we live next to a train station. Because we've got no money. Well, good news that I can get us this train because I've just got a little bit of extra money in. Well, what we get, blah, 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 blah. And we just made it work. It was like,
absolutely.
okay, we'll buy a ticket each.
Mm-hmm.
We got the train to Newcastle. We didn't have any tickets at the time. Obviously, super fortunate that we can just put out a tweet,
And
put out an Insta
presto.
story, and within 15 minutes, we had 2 tickets to sold out show.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to that, and it was fucking class.
It was great, wasn't it? It was so good. And because, you know, I've not really thought about it until we've talked about it now, but that was such a good night because we got everything done that we had to do. We went on the train. So from an hour, from an hour of us going, let's go, we were on the train, booked 95% of all the travel and accommodation. Obviously, some bits we
on the train to Newcastle.
Yeah.
That's when we decided, because you come, as discussed, you came here so we could book all the Biffy tour.
absolutely.
So we booked that while on the train to
Newcastle.
drinking.
Absolutely. And I'd never been to Newcastle before, so I was kind of excited for that. So I was happy. We'd booked nearly all the accommodation, all the travel for the Biffy tour. Got into a new city. You'd kind of bigged it up to this nice place. And I'll tell you what, it was lovely. It's
good,
kind of
isn't it?
sad that we spent so little time there, to be honest with you, because
It's a shame it wasn't on the actual tour.
Went into a cool bar and then went into a Spoons afterwards. Went into a little
Yeah.
shitter bar.
With them 2 lads.
2 lads, yeah, absolutely. They took a nice photo
They took
of
the
us.
Instagram of us.
But it was great. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I would love to go back for another gig at some point.
And it was the opening gig of Broco's tour, so that it was exciting. It was great. We didn't have anything the next day aside from normal day to day.
I think I had work, to be fair.
Yeah, but that was like a little cherry on top.
Yeah, absolutely.
And do you know the reason why like I love to do stuff like that? Just so spontaneous.
Go on.
I think about Biffy Clyro when they played the Barrowlands in 2014. I didn't go. You didn't go.
We talk about
now.
this a lot.
Admittedly, I'm a bit older than you.
Very slightly.
So you might have been. Correct me if I'm wrong here. I don't know how old you were then. We don't need to tell the viewers how old you were then necessarily. But maybe you weren't quite as able to get up to Scotland on your own.
I specifically remember the conversation I had with my mum, because my mum loves Biffy Clyro.
Yeah.
Like the first time I saw Biffy Clyro, I took my mum with me, and she loved it. It was great. But yes, I remember having the conversation with my mum saying like, look, I understand you don't want to do all the dates, but what if we did the Saturday? What if we did Virgo Bliss and Only Revolutions?
Oh, man.
She knew nothing about Virgo Bliss. But I was like,
Mum, you're on the cover.
that's not my mum. But I remember having that conversation, and it got dismissed so quickly, which is, but it's mental, because obviously now.
And I guess that dismissiveness that your mum had about it was the same dismissiveness I had. It was like, okay, it's 2014. I'm 22, maybe. So not a child, but like, it was like, I can't. It's in Glasgow.
It's in Glasgow. It's 3 days.
What do you mean? I cannot possibly do that. And
absolutely.
that's the way I think most logical, or dare I say boring, adults would think about that.
Absolutely, yeah.
So missing that, when I could have just got a train, slummed it.
Like, think how many times we have just
we've done it
jumped on
many
a train
times
to Glasgow and had the greatest weekend of our lives.
And that's always the motivator. The direct motivator for stuff like going to that Broco gig.
Yeah, absolutely.
If we can do it, it don't matter if we're going to be broke afterwards. It don't matter if we're going to be hungover.
Mm-hmm.
If we can do it, just do it.
Absolutely.
Because when we've got kids in 25 years' time, they're not going to want to hear about the story when we fucking stayed in.
Of course, absolutely not. It's very interesting because obviously there's another podcast that we said we're going to do, and this really ties in well with it, so I won't delve into it, but you really need to just do everything you can while you can.
Live your life.
Absolutely, because at the end of the day, you could wake up dead.
You could, and fingers crossed, I do. Speaking of fingers crossed, so we did Biffy at the start of the week. Broco, sorry, at the start of the week. And then you fucked off back home, and I fucked off back home. And then the tour was beginning on that Friday, was it?
We also sprinkled in another Don Broco the Thursday night.
Yes, yes. So the tour actually began. Our UK tour began on Thursday. So we went to Broco in Manchester, night one, sold out. We bought those tickets when they came out.
Yep.
I think Razzie bought them. Or Razzie bought mine.
Oh, no, I had my own ticket. I brought my own.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It was very confusing when a random ticket came through, because I don't remember buying it, but hey. I had a ticket, baby.
Again, like I don't remember us buying many of the Broco ones, but we had a lot more than we needed.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we went to Broco in Manchester, and that was like full squad, but it was a lot of us. There was me, you, Cleesby, Raz, Mary came, Danny came, which was nice because Danny doesn't come out with us too often anymore. So that was really good. And did we stay in Manchester?
No, we got our usual. Oh no, it wasn't usual because usually we get the bus back.
We do at 4 in the morning.
It's kind of a shame we didn't get the coach back, but we got the train back. It was still fine. We got in at like 4 in the morning, something like that. Standard stuff coming back from Manchester.
No bother.
Absolutely.
And then we woke up that morning and went for that breakfast.
Oh,
and that's where the tour video starts.
Yes.
Starts in there. So night one, Liverpool. Tell us about Liverpool.
So we'd experienced that venue a few weeks prior for the Bring the Horizon gig, hadn't we?
Yeah, the Mountford Hall.
Absolutely.
Guild of Students or whatever.
And, I'm just going to make a comment here. Might be a passing comment. Don't worry about it. But Bring Me actually played the new album in full.
They did, and it was excellent.
It was absolutely
brilliant.
It
really met my expectations.
It really did, because, they'd announced this gig ages ago saying, look, we're going to play this brand new album in full. It was great. We were like, oh, do you know what? This is going to be sick, this.
And they said they're going to play the full album in full.
Yeah.
Full album in full. But they didn't say they'd play anything else.
No, they didn't.
As a little surprise on top right at the end. We got a few extra bangers.
You'd take it, wouldn't you, mate? You'd
Excellent
take it any time of the day.
You sure would.
So we got to Liverpool. I booked the accommodation for Liverpool.
Yep, you did. Expensive, but
expensive,
decent,
but do you know what? It
nice.
did the job. It was a hostel, but we had the room to ourselves. Nice central location. I knew where it was instantly. All good. Went
Indeed.
for a lovely American pizza slice.
Yep, the best pizza, in my opinion, in the UK.
And here's our sponsor for this video podcast, American Pizza Slice.
Oh, please, just send me a DM.
We're not asking for much.
Not
man.
asking for much. Just give us
literally.
If we get free
just
pizza
every time we
there,
go to Liverpool,
which is very rare.
Yeah, absolutely. Just free pizza.
Think about it, guys. Are you all right?
Wrong hole.
Dear me.
I don't usually get it in the wrong hole, but that time I did get it in the wrong hole.
Yeah, well, there's something to be said about that. Maybe off camera.
We'll move on. But yeah, so we did that, and then went to a Biffy meetup. Didn't meet anyone.
Yeah, the thing is with the Biffy meetups, because we went to almost every one, and the people in the Biffy page are really nice.
Lovely.
And it was nice on that first night to just kind of casually like meet some familiar faces that we've met before.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we were so tired and we saw Joe, we saw some people that we know from the Biffy community, and thank you, Jake. And we saw them, but every other time when we went, we were just so tired. Like I didn't want to like go up and just bring the mood down.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I was exactly the same because
for them they're not doing every tour, every show. They might be doing a few. There's that lovely lady that we met. Who,
which actually said to you, we said we were tired. So like, oh, well, in that case, don't come upstairs and bring the mood down. Actually,
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's a joking comment, but actually,
but she was right. That's why we weren't
Yeah,
upstairs. That's why we didn't go straight upstairs to that meetup. I'd love to. There's nothing I like more than talking about Biffy Clyro.
Absolutely.
But when you're that shattered and you're constantly in a state of hangover / drunk, I just don't think that that's what they want.
No, absolutely.
And I respected that, and we respected that, and we
did.
Went to each place to see how we felt, and we ended up just sitting together. But that's a win as far as I'm concerned.
We
As
had a
much
good
of a
time.
win as the other.
We're here today to tell the tale.
We sure are. So I went to Liverpool. Was stood, super excited. Bob Villan's on. Bob Villan caused a bit of controversy on that first night.
He
did.
did.
Some cunt was shouting at him.
I mean, so we didn't realize this at the time, but we got there at the very start of his set, and I will say now, when I first heard him, I was a bit like, "Whoa, what's this?" Like,
I had no idea what Bob Villan was.
This is so like not what I expected a Biffy Clyro support act to be.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, spoiler alert, by the end of the tour, I think we're both Bob Villan fans.
Yeah, we need to get tickets to that Offspring gig.
Hives, and absolutely. I don't care about the Offspring.
Bob Villan supporting.
Yeah,
them.
but a Hives and Bob Villan is great. I looked actually yesterday, £45.
I've
Cheaper than Counting Crows at Sheffield.
I've got it. If you want to get one, mate,
Absolutely,
I can
mate.
afford one at the minute.
Wonderful stuff.
So let's.
But yeah, so we saw Bob Villan, and yes, there was some controversy. From what I'm aware, I'm quoting a post I saw on Facebook, but apparently some guy hurled some abuse after Bob Villan said something.
Kill the Queen.
Said kill the Queen because she killed Diana, and someone didn't like that. And I mean, it's a very controversial thing to say, but I completely appreciate it. And like I say, love Bob Villan, very good.
Rock and roll.
Absolutely.
I bought the T-shirt.
Yeah. But basically, someone got kicked out, and allegedly, someone bit a steward, which in these COVID times,
Not great, that Liverpool. It's not a great look.
Oh, dear me.
And then this is when the controversy started because Biffy Clyro, our heroes, truly our idols in every sense of the word, came on stage and graced us with the myth of the happily ever after in full.
They did.
The brand new album, out less than a week.
Yeah.
In full.
From tracks 1 to
8, 9, whatever.
whatever it is.
And I had bought the album on release, of course. I want to support the boys. I wanted to get number 1. They didn't, sadly, but that's because they released in a busy week. I'd had it on repeat since it came out.
So had I.
In my AirPods on the train.
I'd already decided what was my favourite song, what was my least favourite song.
Yeah,
and
you
I'd
kinda-
already
you-
grown to appreciate it. It was still very new to me, but
I listened to it while reading the lyrics.
yeah,
I was as familiar with that album as I think anyone could be outside of that band.
absolutely, I agree.
And they played it in full, and it left a really sour, not sour, but I was very disappointed about that.
Yeah, so was I. I think you were probably more disappointed, but I was still very disappointed as well. It was
they came on, they opened with Dum Dum. Now
which
they always
you could
open.
understand.
They always open with track 1 off their latest album, so that made sense. And then they went straight into "Hunger in Your Horn," which is track 2 on that album. So it was like cool,
great
excellent
track 2.
song and a single off the album.
Yeah.
But then when they played "Denier,"
Yeah.
and then they played "Separate Missions," and you realise what's happening, it was a bit underwhelming.
Yeah, absolutely. It was.
And the thing is, as they were playing it, I'm kind of getting in my own head, and I'm like, right, cool. They're going to play that in full, and then they're going to play loads of old random shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it was kind of the worst of both worlds. In the moment, I'm not talking about how I feel about it now, but in the moment, it was, here's an album that's so new, you don't even have a chance to really fully appreciate this whole experience.
Yep.
And here's the Leeds Festival set, but just watered down even a bit more.
And God and Satan.
Yeah, God and Satan was the highlight.
It was lovely. God and Satan was nice because they've not played that in God knows.
No, God and Satan knows. So it was kind of the worst of both worlds. A brand new album in full, and a pretty tame greatest hits.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. I completely
And
agree.
we walked out of there, and I was so fucking disappointed, man.
You made an absolute fantastic analogy, and I used this on the tour when.
Well, this analogy is, I think, not to suck my own dick, but I think this is a perfect analogy.
It really is, yeah,
but
absolutely.
Let's come to that in a sec, because online, on the internet, there was a lot of criticism about the set list.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of love. I would wager that if people were not on a public forum and if they were asked on their own and their answer just stays with them, they would truly say, I'd rather them not play that in full.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's hard to criticize people that you love. And
really
Biffy Clyro, they mean so much to me, and they can't put a foot wrong, really.
No,
but I
absolutely
can.
Not.
But I think it takes a lot. It takes a different kind of fan to be able to say, well, do you know what? Actually, that wasn't that good.
Yeah, and I'm actually, I would put money on it that they'd appreciate that type of criticism.
I would hope so.
From such a big fan kind of thing.
And it's not saying the songs aren't great.
No,
because that
absolutely
album
not. It's fantastic.
incredible.
It's such a good album, and I highly, suggest anyone that hasn't listened to it.
I love
it.
I love that album.
Yeah, it's really good.
And it's not saying they played it poorly.
No, absolutely not.
The criticism is purely based on just the choice and the order that it was played in and the way it was delivered. But they're in the rights to do whatever they want. But it was a tough pill to swallow.
It really, because I tried to play devil's advocate on the night, and I still stand by it. It's like I get it. I do completely get it. They've just brought out a new album, so they want to showcase it. I get that 100%. If I was in a band, I'd want to showcase my new music too.
You'd get bored of playing the Captain over and over again, mate. You would.
Would you?
I mean, I'm bored of playing it now, and I'm not in the band.
I mean, it's always my warm-up electric guitar song.
It is a great song.
Yeah,
I'd love to have heard that.
But anyway, I completely understand why they'd want to showcase it. Where I stand confused about this whole thing is the fact that the Fingers Crossed tour was always advertised as in the branding of a celebration of endings.
Yeah.
Now, if you listen to this, hello, welcome to the Biffy podcast. We're talking about Biffy Clyro. Biffy Clyro's A Celebration of Endings kind of imagery is a blue paint stripe. And now the Fingers Crossed tour, that's kind of what...
It was all branded as a blue
as that.
paint
I'm pretty
stripe.
sure posters even had like advertisement for that album. So for us that sold out this tour before this new album had even come out, and under the because of this new album, the Celebration of Endings, for them then to play a new album and not just make it slightly worse, say like, oh, we've actually got a new album out, maybe you might hear some songs from it. Even just a subtle tweet like that.
I expected us to hear some.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But to hear it in full, it was just a bit...
Yeah, man. And
I don't know.
It's hard because, the people don't take this criticism well on behalf of the band.
And it's... to put the point across, we love Biffy Clyro.
Yeah,
and
I would go head to head with any super fan.
Absolutely.
You cannot be more of a fan than I am, and I'm sure you'd say the same.
Yeah, of course.
But you do get people that really do take that criticism to heart, and they don't see that it's coming from a place of love and a place of kind of sense as well.
Yeah.
Now onto this analogy. I love that album, that Myth of the Happily Ever After. I've listened to it still non-stop. I've had it on today. It was on when you walked in.
Well. Yeah, it was.
And I think it's one of Biffy Clyro's best albums. I really do.
Yeah.
Controversial maybe, but I really do.
Because it's one of those where you truly can listen it from start to finish.
Yep.
And
absolutely.
And enjoy every single song.
But and now I'm glad I was there. Because it's the only time they've ever played an album in full in their entire career, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
And I love that album.
So, and you've heard it in full now?
And I've heard it in full. But it doesn't count. No. Because people say, I told you so. I told you, you'd grow to appreciate it. I knew you'd end up kind of changing your mind. I've not changed my mind. What was the analogy?
So you said you want to enjoy your steak dinner there and then. You don't want to look back at it in a couple of weeks' time and go, oh, actually, that steak was nice, actually.
I really like steak now. So looking back on that steak, it was lovely. It doesn't matter.
No, absolutely, because you've had it now.
Because you're not eating it now.
Yeah. So, and I love that analogy because it's so true and down to the point. You want it when you go into a concert, when you go into a show, whatever. You want to enjoy it there and then in the moment, and it just missed the bar. And it's so unfortunate to say because looking back now, it was good.
If they'd have played that on the last night, I'd have been so buzzed and so ready for it.
Yeah, absolutely. We said that, didn't we?
But we say, and we say in the video, I know you've not seen the video yet, Jay, but you were there. Yeah. It's all about the expectation that's set.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm not. People are saying, "Oh well, we'll make sure they send you a set list before they next do a gig." That's just being facetious.
Yeah, really.
But just set an expectation. Like, just set. It's not unlike Biffy to do random to do fan service to the old heads. They supported themselves at a gig.
War Child thing.
They did the Barrowlands stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it wasn't
absolutely. Oh my god.
I know. There's a little bit in the video where that's kind of made a bit of a meme.
Shit,
but yeah, so they are known to do that from time to time. And I guess I just thought this was a guaranteed time we'd get that. And it doesn't help with, certain people on Twitter kind of chiming in saying, "Oh, it's going to be a really." Anyway,
surely someone of certain stature wouldn't do that.
But the thing is, like, so we got that album in full, and it was like, okay, after this, that's when it's going to really hit hard. And then it went into fucking North and No South. It was like, cool, I've heard this a lot of times now. I'm kind of over it, but it's still a great song. It really kind of puts me in a certain zone and certain memory. Then that Golden Rule was excellent. But
the crowd was mental for that. Actually.
It was the most mental pit I've ever been in my life. But then you realise it's pretty much just the Reading and Leeds set.
Yeah.
And as we got to like instant history in the set list, I mean, someone got a great video of me, and I'm just shaking my head. I couldn't believe it. But we kind of went out in Liverpool that night to those two shitty fucking bars again.
Yeah, do you know what? It's a shame because obviously let's not dwell on this, but it's a shame because we went onto that bar on the Bring Me night and we're like, oh, I bet on a Friday or Saturday,
I bet it's good. I bet
this is sick. And it was meh. It was nothing interesting, to be fair. Which is a shame. We should have gone to that tequila bar.
We should, yeah.
Simon would have been there. Simon would have gone there.
I know, fucking hell.
Next time.
But yeah, so then the next day we were in Cambridge.
Train got cancelled, but it was fine. Not really a problem. Went down to Cambridge. We'd both never been to Cambridge before. Both knew it was going to be a long journey. We had a quick stop off in Birmingham.
It was like 5 hours, wasn't it, that one?
Well, I think we had a quick stop off somewhere.
It was Birmingham. We had
a Pizza Hut.
Yeah. And I was so like hungover that I couldn't bear to have anything on my pizza. So it was just a margarita.
Yeah, we were both very shattered, very tired, even after night one. But we obviously still dwelling on the previous night on that whole album. So we're kind of like on the journey there, saying like, so is this whole tour gonna be that album?
Yeah, because each night you kind of think this next night is gonna frame the rest of the tour.
Yeah.
So like after night one, it's like night two, they might play another album in full, a different one. So then you kind of convince yourself that's gonna happen.
Because I remember you saying like, just you wait, mate. In Cambridge, they have a massive puzzle piece on the banner.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that they'll have one.
And they
actually,
didn't.
I think you owe me a $5, actually.
I think maybe. Well, do you know?
I'll let you off.
I'll get you 2 Sagres tonight.
Oh, thanks, mate.
And they didn't play another album in full, which was fine because the second that set list deviated from... So they played Tiny Indoor Fireworks third, which was the first big clue that this is a different set. We were fucking elated. And it's one of the best gigs I've ever been to.
It's a shame that it was never caught on camera, but... It's kind of good that it's kept...
No, it kind of is.
Oh, is it?
There's a bit like mid Tiny Indoor Fireworks where like we turn the camera around and like, it's different.
It was great.
Straight in the Biffy group. Like, different set.
We both looked at each other and it was like pure joy.
Elation.
And again, goes down to expectations. We went into that Cambridge gig expecting it to be, realistically, the album again. So we were kind of like... Right, okay, it's going to be the album again.
Expectations were managed.
Absolutely.
And everything in life... What?
Keep saying absolutely.
Everything in life it's key to manage your expectations. It really is. And when they're not set, you kind of... What?
I'm just in my head. I keep saying absolutely.
Yeah. Don't worry about it, man. It's
absolutely.
fine.
Cheers, man. Thanks.
Now, if you think about it, the set list for the whole tour was pretty PG. It wasn't really very risky at all.
Nothing from the first three. No. Which I don't want to sound like one of those Biffy fans that's like, they don't play any of the old stuff no more kind of thing. I'm not that type of guy. All I'm saying is, for me personally, and I appreciate that there's other fans that have not had the same opportunities that I have, but I've seen every song on the tour.
Yeah, it would have been nice to get
from the new stuff.
Just one. But even though that set list was pretty cookie cutter and pretty, dare I say, vanilla from
it was.
From a diehard perspective, it was one of the best gigs I've ever seen because my expectations were managed.
Yeah. We're on about Cambridge there, aren't we?
Yeah.
It was incredible. It really was a good gig, that.
Speaking of bands not playing anything off their early albums, Broco haven't played a song of Priorities from this whole tour.
Such a shame, man.
It is. It really is. You'd think they'd at least play the title track, Priorities.
Yeah. It was completely slightly off topic, but did they play anything? Did they play the same set list at the Bedford gig?
Good question. I've looked at this on Setlist FM, but it wasn't populated.
Oh,
so
really?
I'm going to be disappointed if they did.
Yeah.
But I'll be glad that we didn't make the trip, if so.
Yeah,
in a nice way, just because
it was. It seems very counterintuitive.
There's no set list up yet.
Well, whatever the word is, but that we're saying like, do everything you can while you can, do it. But realistically,
it's there's only so many times you can have your favorite thing.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to indulge in your cheesecake or something like that, otherwise you get fat.
And for us to go to that Broco Bedford date, which had been rescheduled so inconveniently so many times, that it really just kind of made us lose interest.
Which is sad to say, but realistically, that is the reality of it.
Do I want to go to a 250 capacity venue and see him play the same set? I've just seen him play 4 times when I was meant to be at this show. Like 6 months before this album existed, we've probably again, it's just about the expectation. Like you kind of work yourself into, this is what this show's gonna be. It's a Bedford show. It's a standalone show. They're gonna probably play all the hits and a couple of deep cuts. Thug Workout, this, that, and the other. Maybe they did. I've not seen the set list, but I can guess that based on the fact the same people were supporting, it was probably the exact same show. Yeah, just pasted in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's fine. It's easy. You guys are working. I'm not expecting you to completely change your lighting and your sound
I've
mix.
had to play wrong place, wrong time, actually.
No, imagine. That would be the right
that would
place.
Be so dedicated to you. And it's like, where is he? We know he's got a ticket.
So I speak to Rob Damiani every now and again. We're certainly not, I would never say we're mates. But I think
he's saying to all the boys down in London, like you two are mates.
Well, I'm not. Look, I know people that know people in bands, right? And they make out as if they're best mates, right? And I'm not doing that right now. Me and Rob, we're firmly we recognize each other, we know each other on first name terms, but I'd love to be his mate, but I think we just have a mutual respect for each other, which is nice, and. Maybe that relationship maybe as we continue to grow and they continue to grow, maybe we can grow together in some way and maybe we'll rub shoulders a bit more. But
maybe they need some extras for a music video at some point.
Maybe a little bit. I can't remember what the fuck my point was with this.
It was a great point, whatever it was. Just
can't remember. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So anyway, this is a funny thing about the tour. So my mate Ross.
Oh, yeah.
Who's good mates with Rob, went to uni with Rob, I believe, got like a DM from Rob, a text from Rob Damiani saying, we need footage from these songs from like the pit. So Ross said it to me, and who better to ask, not to be a prick, but this is literally what we do for not for a living, but pretty much for a living. And so anyway, I was sending these videos to Rob on Insta. And I was hammered when I was doing this, right? And I sent a message.
I do remember seeing you send them all.
Yeah, man. So I was sending them all, and I didn't realize they set up an email just for this. They even said, do you know what they even said on the Don Broco fan page? They said, anyone that can get footage from the pit, send it to this email. If you want to come and do this and you need some tickets, just email in and we'll sort you out. I wish I'd have known that before. I mean, I'm happy to financially support them.
I wish you'd known that as well.
But like when we were in,
there was 2 dates out of those Don Broco things that we had to find.
Yeah,
tickets.
we had to buy like double. Anyway, and I sent them to Rob, and I can't remember if we were chatting or if we weren't, but I really enjoyed Action from this tour. Yeah. And we were meant to be going London night 2, and that would have been my 40th time seeing Don Broco.
Oh.
So I just sent a little message.
You're still on 39, aren't you?
I'm on 39 now.
That's gonna be
so.
You do make it 40.
So I
40th,
so I DM Rob amongst the videos, pissed, and I was like, "It's gonna be my 40th time in like a week when you do London Night 2. So let me know if you need any help with Action." Because they did me like a birthday shout out before.
Yeah.
So in my head, I'm thinking I missed out singing Antivis would Bring Me when they literally pretty much may as well have handed us a mic on front row. So I was like, you know, I'm gonna
pay good money to see that.
I'm gonna shoot my shot here. And I basically said like very casually, deliberately casually, because I didn't want to seem like a fucking beg. I was like, let me know if you need help with Action. Now, obvious,
Rob, I know you struggle with Action sometimes, so if you do need a hand, just let me know and I'll jump up quickly.
But he gets those other guys on, doesn't he? Those support
Yeah.
on. And I've really grown to love Action. And I thought if there's any chance that I'm gonna get to have a cool experience like that, it's gonna be during Action on that night. Because they're top boys and they do, you know, they fulfill a lot of fan requests. We've seen them do like proposals. They did my birthday thing. So anyway. I woke up and I immediately fucking regretted sending that because, you know, that's super cringed for me to say that. But then when we didn't go to that date, right? Because we couldn't make that date. We were just too fucked. We had to come home.
Had work actually. To be
Jake
fair.
had work, and I was really worried, man, that on that night they'd be like, right, this next song, there's a guy in the crowd out there, like they've done before on my birthday. Where's Rob? And like, the house lights come on. He's not here. It's like Austin Powers when his dad's not there.
Looking for his dad,
I'll tell you a really embarrassing story about Don Broco. I know we're getting off topic. And we're probably going to run out of time in about 20 minutes.
That's all right.
That's fine.
Breather,
so when me and Dan did the Don Broco tour in 2018, we were in Newcastle. It was the last time we were in that bar that we just went to. And our train in the morning was like, you might know this story, but the viewers might not. So just abide me.
That's all right, I'll listen.
And our train in the morning was like a stupid time. It was like 8 a.m. And we were going out. And I was this close to messaging Tom from Broco and just being like, can we just come on the bus?
I do know this story.
And I'm so glad I didn't, because who the fuck do I think I am, man? Like Tom, I have so much respect for Tom. I told him this in person. I was out of my mind, and I probably didn't make myself seem very sincere. But he's the first person that I ever admired from the music scene that ever gave me time of day. Like, he stood and talked to me in Key Club for like 40 minutes.
He is very much a true, like as Sam and Neil will say, a true gent.
He really is
he's
a true gent. And all them lads are. I've met them all many times, and they all sound as fuck.
Absolutely lovely. You know, we've been very privileged to be able to sat with them, and
but God, imagine if I'd have sent that fucking message. I mean, first of all,
hey lads, that lad sent me a message. Look, he's asking to come on the bus with us.
Imagine sending that, and I didn't send this. I didn't ask it, but you know, when you're pissed, I would have been fucked out of my head. I'd have been shattered. I'd have been like, Tom was nice. Tom's going from A to B. I need to do that.
I'm going
A to
there
B.
as well.
They got big van, big bus. Just two lads, just come on. I'll buy you a Burger King.
Was it a Phoenix? Or do you know? Was it a Phoenix?
Oh, the bus. Yeah. I think it was one of them beat the street ones.
Oh, really?
The big one.
Nice.
But that's a little embarrassing story. I didn't send that one, but I did send the one to Rob about can I sing on Action. Funny story. I did deliberately learn the lyrics to Action just in case. Just in case he did. Because I was like, just in case somehow that happens. I mean, to be fair, I don't want to ever be in that situation and not know him.
How bad would it have been if you'd asked Rob, you know, can I, you know, if you need help singing it, and he had brought you on stage, and you just forgot the pinnacle part of actually knowing the lyrics?
That's the missing piece. But yeah, that's just a funny kind of story.
There's a little break in the Biffy podcast for you, just like Don Broco was the break on the Biffy tour.
Yeah, I mean, that's it, right? So Cambridge, excellent show, excellent set.
Yeah,
Same
great
set
night
as
out.
the rest of the set didn't deviate from there, so we kind of don't really need to talk about the gig
absolutely.
anymore.
Had a good night out afterwards.
Yeah,
In
went to that
retrospect,
vinyl.
Yep, really cool place. And then went up to Sheffield.
Yeah. Now that was
Sheffield.
Yeah, it was. I love Sheffield. One of my favorite. It's probably my favorite place in England.
Mm-hmm.
Glasgow being my favorite place in the UK.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it was great. We went. We had a lot of drinks. We had a lot to drink. There was a lot of expensive rounds that night.
I remember when I was sent you my the price stuff for the thing, and I remember Sheffield being a very high expenditure, especially in Leadmill. I can't believe how much I spent in Leadmill, and I've got a Leadmill card, so that means drinks are cheap.
I've got a Leadmill card
somehow
as well.
I was buying £20 rounds. Who
I
for?
bought like a 20,
I don't fucking know,
£30.
but hey, I did it.
It's got to be done.
Certainly does, mate.
Thank you, mate. Treat me well. Jake's just pouring another Captain Morgan's.
You're saying that as if I don't usually treat you well.
Well, you usually a bit of a tight ass.
Oh, the issue is I'm gonna have to stand up now so you can either have this little bit of Coke or you can have ginger beer.
I'll go for what do you want, mate? You have first.
I mean, I'll finish because I've still got some Coke left, so it only makes sense that.
Cool. Sheffield was very good. Raz was there, which was nice. It was nice to be standing with Raz. There was another guy that kept playing the air guitar with us, which, this is another thing. I mean, this guy it was great time there, but I played so much air guitar over this tour and did so many fist bumps that by the end of the tour, my arm was literally swollen. Like, I remember catching myself off guard. I was on the, thank you, Jake. I was on the train and I looked at my arm. I was like, it's like 50% bigger than usual. I was like, I'm getting fat. And Joe, bless her, with every concern for me and my mental well-being, was like, you're not getting fat. Stop saying that. Blah, blah. And, obviously I wasn't. No. I mean, my arm was bigger, but I wasn't having a crisis.
I remember sat on the train.
She's lovely, man.
Yeah, she's great. I remember sat on the train with you, and you would just sit, just listen to music, but then you just look at your arm and just kind of like, just move it slightly.
What's going on with that?
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I agree. It is surprising how much air guitar we both did.
God. And mine would be the most accurate air guitar in the room,
the thing is,
guarantee you.
In my head, we both look rock and roll as fuck. We were like,
of course we do, mate.
Like people have looked at them and gone like, yeah, they're cool, but there's also part of me that goes like, maybe in reality.
Well, we're going to be doing that in like 3 hours, mate.
Are we? Where are you going?
Into bedroom.
Oh, right. Sorry. Silly me. Sheffield was great though.
Yep.
No, same set, but do you know what? Absolutely fine because we were with good friends. It was, it was a home show for us. It kind of felt like we were going home in a sense.
Yeah, it did.
Like
Back to Yorkshire. We're both from Yorkshire.
Relaxation. It was lovely.
And we were right near the back.
Yeah.
And there's a clip of us when you're in the moment. You kind of think, right, I need to go for a piss. I need to get a drink. So you wait till they play like the Pink Limit.
Yeah.
Which they played every night.
I love Biffy, but my God, I can't stand
I like the guitar break in it. Like I said,
you said that on the tour.
It's really good, that.
And I've taken to appreciate it, but
it is a great song.
I can still cut that song out the set.
But it's like now when you're back and you're not going to see Biffy for ages and you see a clip of you stood at the bar while Biffy Clyro played. Now, what the fuck was that doing? Well, turn around. Can you not wait an hour for a drink?
Evidently we couldn't. No, we were rocking out though. I had, because it was Halloween that night, so I was wearing my Unknown Male 01 outfit, which was all white with a nice red bandana.
Indeed. And you sorted me out with a red bandana.
I sorted you out with a red bandana.
And do you know what, mate? I'll treasure that forever. I might even wear it this evening to bed.
To bed? Yeah, of course. Because where else would you wear it?
I don't know, mate.
Yeah. But yeah.
Is that the city centre out my window? Oh, no.
Something's popping off over there.
Oh, shit. Must be Biffy playing a different album in full.
But yeah, there's obviously a great clip in the video of us rocking out to Unknown Male. And that's great.
What a great song.
Yeah, I mean, I've started looking at the tabs of that now. It's so good. I love playing
It's great.
that.
I just played it just before you got here.
Yeah, I can imagine you did. But
what did I just learn?
You've just learned cop syrup.
Cop syrup, yeah.
Yeah. Fair play to you, mate. Fair play to you.
Well, do you know what? We don't necessarily need to talk about every day on the tour.
No, we don't, because realistically, so after Sheffield, it was a night off in Nottingham for Broco. Again, there's another story for that, but to be honest with you, Rob got the wrong date.
It's all in the vid as well.
Yeah. So, but it was still very good. After Nottingham, we went down to London. London was great. Oh, the convenience for London,
it was
though.
so
That
convenient.
That first trip to London on that tour, so convenient.
Incredibly convenient. Shared a bed, shit hotel.
Did we?
Yeah, it was the first time was when we shared that bed.
So this was
and it's when we got the Baroccas, which I've just finished today.
Oh my God. This was the first accommodation Rob had booked for the tour. Because he originally booked a hostel that was apparently like an hour tube or some bollocks like that away from where we needed to be. So Rob was on the train and he was like, look, Jake, I'm going to treat us because, you know, we're both tired. This is now like the 4th, 5th night or whatever it is. And we both, you know, we are tired. We are feeling it now. I'm going to book us a hotel so we can relax a bit more.
Nice guy.
You know what? Yeah, absolutely. You were a nice guy for doing that. Oh my God, what a shithole!
It was a wank, wasn't it? God.
It was like it was like the third bedroom at East Point. It was tiny. It was so small.
Memories there. Good memories.
Good memories. The shower had a plug in the middle of the thing because the shower was so small that they anticipated water to piss out the shower. But you know what, mate? It's, you know, we had a nice time. We had a nice kebab.
The intention were there. Yeah, we had a decent kebab.
Yeah, we tried waiting to see the boys afterwards.
Yeah, that was the night where we didn't drink too much. We were seated, sat right next to Warner Music.
Yep.
Saw Curtis, who sorts out a lot of our accreditation for festivals. So, and he certainly looked like he had a great time, as did we.
Yeah,
it was nice to see him.
One of guys did, which was nice to see. They loved Witch's Cup, didn't they?
Yeah, the Warner guys did love Witch's Cup.
And shall I tell you what, Witch's Cup is a great song.
I mean, I said this earlier. I'm not sure how true I believe it to be, really. It was a very passing statement. But it really is one of the best songs they've released in the last 10 years.
It is very good. And
it would fit on Only Revs.
Oh, of course. Of course
the
it would.
horns are great.
Yeah, it's very typical Biffy to go like, what does this need? Should chuck some horns on, I guess. Yeah, sure, why not? And
why not?
Hey presto, a fucking
Italian.
masterpiece. But yeah, very good. Loved London. Lovely standard London trip. After London, went off to Southampton.
Southampton
Your
was
first
my
time in
favourite.
Southampton.
It was my favourite on the tour.
Southampton was.
We
was
went to
good.
Southampton. As soon as I got off the train, it looked like shit.
Yeah.
It's in the video.
Grey
It
buildings.
looked like shit. Jake recommended this restaurant. We went to the restaurant it was closed and it wasn't opening for another hour.
My bad.
So, you know, we didn't exactly have a huff or anything, but it was kind of like, it was less than convenient.
It was an inconvenience, yeah. Absolutely.
So I said to the woman, who said we don't open for an hour, says, is there a pub nearby? She literally points behind me and there's literally a pub there. We go in, lovely woman.
She sat doing a Sudoku
chilling.
or crossword or whatever it is.
Serves us 2 pints of dark fruits. We just come from London.
Yeah.
Serves us 2 pints of dark fruits.
£6.
£3 each.
Yeah.
£6 for 2. Couldn't believe it.
Bargain.
Spot a dartboard out corner of our eye. Stood and played darts for an hour and a half.
Who won?
Don't matter who won.
Who won?
We both had a great time.
You know what, mate? The darts were great. The darts was fresh darts as well.
Brand new darts. And it was so fucking great. We were some of the only ones in there. Just slinging the old darts.
We actually stayed longer.
Yeah,
than,
we did.
Than what we were anticipated to do.
And then we went over the road, had that great food.
Where was it?
Seven Bone.
Seven Bone, it was.
And then we went to the Hobbit bar, which again, like so many people recommended so many places on my Insta.
Again,
so I really appreciate that.
On a Friday, Saturday night, popping.
And it was nice to sit in there and chill and listen to that band whose name we forgot for sure.
Oh shit!
You Shazammed it, didn't we?
Oh yeah, we did. I was so determined to remember who it was.
Something like Sons of Apocalypse or some dumb shit
bollocks, wasn't
like
it?
that.
It was. I know there was some Five Finger Death Punch playing, so it's a band along those lines.
It was all shit basically.
I mean,
yeah, come on. And then went to the gig. The venue was fucking
Oh
mad.
my God.
It was carpeted right to the
weirdest
front.
venue I've ever been.
Same.
It's literally a town hall.
It
It's
was
a town
dead.
hall.
It was empty. It was sold out, but it was empty. You could walk your way right to the front. The crowd was bad.
It was the worst crowd I've ever been.
Yeah,
in,
so-
which is because there's going to be people, big fans that will listen to this, but it was a bad crowd. Because and I said it at the time.
I only listen to bad crowds.
You're at a fucking rock concert, right? And I need to be careful what I say because of the whole Astro World thing. But you are at a rock concert here, and you do have to anticipate
A little bit
when
of
you're
pushing.
at the front,
Little bit of
a
pushing.
little bit of pushing, just a little bit of pushing. But there were some people that
Just couldn't fathom. So
being right at the front and getting pushed slightly.
we were at like the perimeter of the circle pit. We didn't go in the circle pit, right?
No.
But the circle pit was behind us.
Mm-hmm.
So when we weren't the first line of defense, we weren't Operation Human Shield, but we were maybe like 4 or 5 people in front of the circle pit. So when the circle pit opens, the people who really want to pick push out.
Yeah.
As you know, I'm preaching to the choir here. So everyone pushes out, which in turn pushes us. Now we're facing the band on stage, and there's people in front of us. So we get pushed. We push it. We don't push into them.
No.
We get pushed, and the reaction to that is we are pushed into the people in front of us.
Yeah.
Instead
how
of the
physics works, guys.
Instead of the people in front of us understanding that, and I guess they're from Southampton, they don't really have much to do. But instead of them,
It is worth just mentioning right now, and I don't want to sound like that knobhead, but Southern crowds are a bit tame.
they're a little bit of pussies.
And I'm gonna get hate for this, but I tell you what, all I'm saying is from my personal experience that Southern crowds are just a little bit more tamer. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you're a bad crowd.
It's just tame.
I'm just saying it's a bit tamer.
But
Not as hard as
I
the
had someone turning round and kind of like annoyed at me personally, as if there's no one behind me and I'm just pushing them.
And it was funny.
And this was an adult. This wasn't like when I went to see Limp Bizkit, right, in 2008 or 2009. I was getting slung all over, and I hated it. I can relate to the discomfort.
Yeah.
But this was a fully grown adult. Mm-hmm. I'm obviously not just pushing you. And then for the rest of the show, because this person in front of me was so uncomfortable, and I was so...
It was great.
I was so dead set on making sure that
they didn't think it was you.
They not only didn't think it was me, but they were kind of a bit more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I just kept saying, this pit behind me is mental, Jake.
This
Pit behind.
is the
even
worst
bad,
crowd I've ever been
but
in.
I just had to say that to try and get it in that person's
Yeah,
head in
of
front.
course.
That like, listen, relax. It's fine.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just the crowd. It's not me pushing you. I don't have a problem with it. No one has got a problem with anyone. It's just how crowd works.
Yeah.
And we still had enough room to maybe swing our arms a little bit at the front.
It was scary in a sense of how much room we actually did have. Like we were like you could like there was space.
There was some gigs where we were
penguins.
halfway to the front and you can't bring your hands up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
But that one, you could.
I'll tell you what.
could do the robot, mate.
As a little tip for you, if you're gonna give, if you're a newcomer to gigs, having long hair at a gig while you're at the front is fucking well annoying.
Oh, you're telling me, mate? It was all in my mouth.
It was all in your mouth, but then it's always getting pulled. You're always like, if you lift your arm up, you're lifting someone else's hair that's got long hair up. It's bloody well annoying. So, top tip: put your hair up at a gig because it gets less sweaty as well. So,
Well, you live and you learn.
but unless you're me, then it always looks great. So.
And then at the end of that gig, Simon's towel. You've seen it in the video. I don't really need to say anymore. It's on my guitar right now.
You're welcome.
Shut up, man. We caught it together.
Yeah, and we caught it together. So the one of us had to let go.
And you've got one.
I do.
But I caught it first, technically, because I'm taller than you.
Look, it's
You can't argue with science, mate. You can't argue with the
either way.
science.
You got a towel.
Yep.
I've got a towel that Simon directly gave to me.
Yep.
So
We're both winners.
that's fine. Simon just threw his towel out. Obviously, that's Southampton.
And then the real
Simon
headline act of Southampton was the amazing hotel that we stayed in.
Oh, the Star Inn or whatever it was. Whatever it was called.
That hotel that we both stayed in was so nice
Why do you think it was so nice, mate?
because it was massive.
But why was it? What? Because
It had a bath.
I'm pretty sure I didn't book that room. I just booked.
Oh yeah, so we get up to the desk, right, and there's a bit of a language barrier because we're hungover. Like both English, like woman at the desk English, but we're just fucked and we can't construct a sentence. And it went somewhat along the lines of like, okay, what you boys in town for? Like, you traveling band? She said like traveling band because they must have said, how you doing? And we just said,
because we were looking pretty rock and roll.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, we were in London last night, like Bristol the night before, whatever. Not the right order, but we said we alluded to the fact we've been around the country and this is our current stop. She's like, oh, traveling band, and we just kind of went, yeah, traveling with band, Mountford Hall, Guild of whatever, Guildford Hall, but and she definitely just thought that we were like in a band.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
but we got the best hotel I've ever stayed in.
It was like Titanic elevator doors.
That was weird.
It was lovely. There was a bath, which was the relaxation that we wanted. Just a side note, I did book this room, so that's another.
You
point.
did, but it was an accident.
Another point on my behalf for accommodation. Well done, Jake.
It was great. Let's skip to the end of the tour because
so Bristol again, another nice night out. We did the Thekla thing.
Yeah, I went on Thekla. Wonderful night.
Oh, wait, hold on. That was the last night, actually, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Sorry,
yeah, actually, it was.
I was skipping to it, but I think there was something else.
But that last night really clicked for me because I hated Cop Syrup. I didn't just dislike it; I actively hated it. Cop Syrup is like a song off Biffy Clyro's
Celebration of
Endings album. It closes out the album, and it's in like two different pieces. One in the middle of the other.
They describe it as a three-parter. They've got this very intense opener, this very melodic, it's an instrumental middle end, and then they finish it off with a final like bang, kind of like, very short final bang. But they kind of class it as three parts.
And for me, it just never did it. No. I was bored. We left during it 2 of the nights.
It was great when they did it at the Barrowlands for that live
stream. It was
stream,
good
because Simon, if you've not seen it, try find it on YouTube or Reddit or wherever it is. Simon they're doing this live stream or the show at the Barrowlands where they're playing the Celebration of Endings in full, and Simon they're doing Cop Syrup and he walks through Barrowlands, down the stairs, and ends up like playing it outside. And visually for the song, it works so well because it is a very repetitive, kind of tune that's going on. So it works really well. There's something visually to look at while this song's going on. And the issue is when you kind of listen to this song on tour, you're just watching the three boys just stand there and just play it, and it's just a bit...
It's nowhere near as good as Stinging Bell, which is the issue for a closer. But anyway, it clicked with me. It took... This is my 8th time seeing Cop Syrup live at this point, because we saw them at Leeds, we saw them at Glasgow, and then we saw them all on the Fingers Crossed tour. And I stood there, and I voice memoed that bit.
Oh, really?
And I've literally got the full voice memo of that exact recording, just of that melodic bit, because I was like, it's finally clicked.
Wow.
I'm going to like splice. And do you know what else I recorded? I recorded their entrance music.
Yeah. It's funny you say that. So I remember... it's a shame that we're probably never
But you can hear us, like, because I was like... Because I like to kind of get in the zone and play like full Biffy set when I play guitar. So I was like, I need that. So recorded it on that last night. Played it on my HomePod when I got back to play some of the set.
Yeah.
You can just hear me and you talking throughout it. It's like fucking me. Yeah. But Cop Syrup finally clicked, and now I can't wait to see it again. Watch them never play it again now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's a very interesting song, because I know you've just started learning it as well. And
I've just finished learning it, get it right.
And
it makes me more impressed that Simon could walk around the Barrowlands playing it.
Yeah,
because
of course.
Fuck me, it's hard.
So, and I'm sure you've kind of found this like new appreciation for the song now, because you kind of know how, because you've just before we started recording this podcast, Rob was showing me, was showing me how it's played on guitar, and hey, I hold my hands up. It's very, very good. And like I said,
it's interesting
to walk around and to play that same kind of melody, that tune for a good 2-3 minutes, fair play to you. Fair play.
Yeah. We kind of rambled a bit. I think we've probably, we have had a bit of Sailor Jerry's, so that's probably affected the conversation a little bit. But we'll wrap it up, I think. But honestly,
money wise,
Oh yeah, let's talk about the money. So you don't know this, do you?
And there is also another side of it. Is
Go on.
So we've just done a tour, 10 days, 10 consecutive gigs. How'd you feel?
How do I feel now?
How'd you feel? Have you done you've done a lateral flow?
I've not done a lateral flow. No, I don't need to.
I mean, I don't need to as well. I have done one, and all good.
Oh, you mean in terms of how do I feel in terms of...
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, mate, it was never a concern for me.
Because it is worth mentioning, though, because we have
you're right,
10 nights out in a row, and
We were talking to people in London for that Broco gig, and they were like, oh, I wonder if there's going to be another lockdown. It's like, absolutely not. We've just been on 10 fucking nights out in a row, man.
Yeah, it's weird. So I remember consciously, when I got home, I did a lateral flow, just as a kind of like, right, this is going to be interesting, this.
Hoping to get some time off work.
Annoyingly, came back negative. So I've had to stay at work, and I've done like another 2 since I've kind of like come back since this break in between. And again, negative, and it's just very interesting. The only thing I've come back with, which it sounds like you have as well, it's just a bit of a snotty nose.
It's just the alcohol that's giving me a
Which I'll tell you
nose.
what, everyone else has at this moment in time. Everyone I speak to is, got a bit of a
sniffles.
got a bit of a snotty nose, but it's very interesting. So, hey, double vaccine, just
works.
Just saying,
Boosters
guys,
coming
just
soon.
saying, guys.
So we'll run through the daily total for each day, and the viewers will already know this, and you'll already know this, Jake, because you'll seen it.
That's if I can be asked watching the video, mate.
You will. It's very good. We need to get a thumbnail, actually.
Shit.
Liverpool cost us all in £412.
Oh my god, no! Oh my god, that's night one.
Now that includes the tickets,
yeah, of course.
and it includes my new Vans that I bought.
Okay, right.
Because it was a total audit of the bank account
Mate,
for
your
that
jacket is just stabbed me in the back. It well.
It might be the pin from the poppy.
No, that's in the ground at some venue.
So anyway, £412. Now, I bought the Vans. So the next day I didn't buy any Vans, of course. Cambridge cost us £452.71.
Bloody Southerners. Those Southern pints, those Southern old boots.
Now, Sheffield was admittedly cheaper.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because we stayed for free.
Yeah.
Jockeys.
Yeah.
So that cost us £429.25.
Right.
Nottingham was the cheapest day of the tour.
I get that.
It surprised me because we were out pretty late, and it's the most fucked we are in the video.
But I tell you what, we've got to give massive...
Nottingham crowd was amazing to us.
Which is weird because of the simulation thing. I'm sure it's in the video, so we won't go on about now. But Nottingham is in a simulation. It's like a World's End, the Simon Pegg film. It's a weird old place, but I tell you what, lovely people there. So
Very nice people. That ran us £322.69. Now again, this includes...
So if you want a cheap night out, guys, just go to Nottingham.
That includes tickets, which were £110 every night for the two Biffy tickets. I've got some notes here. It says hostel charge never came through.
It did come through.
Did it?
It was £38.
Okay, cool.
I did send you it
Well,
in
I
my
owe
thing.
you £16 then.
We'll talk about it later, mate. When we're doing.
And we had to buy the extra Broco tickets as well. Anyway, moving on. London night one cost us £406.
We didn't even go out that night.
No, but it's London, innit?
Wow.
And I booked us that hotel.
You did.
Though we did get the train line refund that time, which cancelled out the hotel. But still.
Come see, come sir.
Come see, the Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away. Southampton, £395.89.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because I remember getting a nearly £40 round in Southampton.
Well, our general spending in Southampton was only £208.
Interesting. Cool.
Bristol, £465.59. Our most expensive night of the whole tour.
That's really interesting. That I'm surprised. Well,
I guess it's because we went to Wagamama's.
Waggers.
We stayed somewhere that wasn't super cheap.
No, we had a kebab. Went to
Yeah.
the Thekla, but then again, that because I got it was two. It was two for the price of one on spirits. So I got a double rum and coke. But then because it was 2 for 1, I got a quadruple rum, and that's interesting. That was the most expensive.
And then we'll run through the other three quickly, just because that camera's died, so I'm no longer visible, and this camera's about to die, which is interesting because I charged them just before. But we are on an hour and 15 minutes.
Oh, nice! You got a nice
Oh, no, it's the other two. Sorry, London night 2 for Broco cost us just shy of £400 at 398, and then the day when we just went home, cost us 114 quid.
Sounds about right.
The total spent on travel, 375.
Wow. Oh my God.
All spent via Patreon.
Thank you very much. Very appreciated.
As you saw when we were driving to things, we were just
saying.
Accommodation, 300 quid.
Do you know what?
Not bad. And tickets, 790 quid. The total amount spent for probably the best week I've had in years.
Mm-hmm.
Best week I've had since I last went to America. Since Route 66 for me. £3,400. Now, I know that's a gobsmacking amount.
Wow.
But take the 790 quid off for the tickets that was spent across 18 months.
Yeah.
And take the 375 quid off from the Patreon.
Yeah.
In fact, even if you don't take that off, it's about 1,700 quid each. And in the video, I've done some comparisons, Jake. You'll like this. I've done some comparisons.
That's a 10-day tour, that, isn't it?
Well, it doesn't quite include the...
Oh, no, it doesn't, does it?
It's like 9 days,
right,
that.
Yeah.
But I did some comparisons and put them in the video. And, you know, every time you see someone with a really nice Louis Vuitton bag, every time you see someone with a 27-inch iMac, every time you see someone with a used Vauxhall Astra,
are you talking about this guy at Paddington Station that had all these things?
No, I'm talking. Every time you see someone with that, they've spent that same amount of money that we've spent, and no one's right or wrong. But it kind of framed because people would think, "God, you're mad. That's so much money to spend." But
how much of a good time did we have?
We had the best fucking time ever, mate, and it was a pleasure serving alongside you for those 9 days.
The pleasure is all mine, mate. It was worth mentioning. It was shattering at points. There was times. I think. Try to be quick here. There was a one time that I think we had a little back and forth, and that's when we were on the Thekla boat because you were saying like, "Why are you stood there? Like, you're not going to get served there. We're like right at the front of the bar."
Oh,
here.
really?
Yeah.
Is that what you'd consider?
That's the only time, only time in our like friendship that I think there's been like.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
See, I didn't read that like that.
Oh, really?
I thought if I had to pick out a time where we were probably sick of each other, it probably was Bristol, actually. And because I'm me, obviously I'm going to put it on you, but I'm sure it's just the mix of both of us. But it was like, I just thought we must have been just so tired that like I was too shattered to abide anything. And then when you were like, putting your bag in and stuff in the
hole.
But I don't want to put that was just a. But do you know what? Like,
hey, if it takes us to the last,
we have such a good dynamic. I feel
absolutely.
And I said this in the video, but I just went around Europe, and it was great. I make no mistake, it was great. But it's mad how good this was, and how much better this actually was. And even if like both of us could maybe pinpoint 1 or 2 times where we probably got sick of each other for about 5 minutes.
Literally 5 minutes.
And on the same day. We still went home we still went back to the thing and we had some food and had a good laugh and tried to have a sleep.
Tried to have a sleep. I mean, I got to sleep.
I almost did. It was a pleasure, Jake.
Pleasure is all mine, mate. And I can look forward to doing it again in February for the 1975, baby.
You just let me know the time and the place and I'll be there. Right, let's go out then. I need a piss.
Go on then. Fine.
Oh, and your battery's just died on the camera. Thanks everyone for listening. We love you.
Thank you.
Have a great evening. We sure will.